So we're going to stay on this theme of supporting sustainable recreation and focusing on the resource. And next I have the pleasure of introducing from the Boone and Crocket Club, Dr. Greg Schildwachter. Greg?
Thank you. Make sure it's on. It is. Well, so here's an idea for you. You got to eat. Right? You want to connect with somebody? You offer them something to eat. If you want to connect somebody to nature, to conservation, teach them how to eat what they kill, like the saying goes. And that is what I want to talk to you about today, because the benefits of doing this go way beyond the individual. It goes to that individual's life as a conservationist by integrating with the wild, with wildlife, with nature, and to the community of conservationists, which is my first point about this program. It's a community effort. The Boone and Crocket Club, the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers Organization, a fantastic volunteer coordinator out of Florence, Montana, and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and the University of Montana, and even we're taking on some difficult politics here, Montana State University. So we all get along in the interest of something very important to do. And if you're saying to yourself right now, huh, Boone and Crocket, you have some catching up to do, like 130 years worth. Because the Boone and Crocket Club was founded by Theodore Roosevelt in 1887 for the purpose of doing whatever needs to be done to promote conservation. In those days, he had to invent it. Now we have this whole community of conservationists, and the club's mission today is exactly the same. The striving for steadfast forward progress in anything within our province that promotes the welfare of the country. That sounds like something TR would say. It was actually Grinnell, George Bird Grinnell, 1913, one of the other club members. And this community effort is very much part of that mission. And what it's all about is, this is kind of like my shotgun. If the button is in one position, it goes one way. Okay, so here it is. What we're doing is 3 days of immersion education in what it means to hunt, how to, and why, which starts with, of course, knowing something about the wildlife you're looking for and how they live their life and where you can find them. And then what do you do with the meat, especially if you care about things like meat and you want it to taste good. And then how does all this fit into, how does your role as a hunter fit into conservation and your part in that, which is scientific, it involves legal concepts, it involves ethics. There it is. 2 up, 1 down. Okay. So, how do you find something like this, turn it into something like this? By the way, the rye whiskey there, the wee dram, sold separately. Not part of the program, it's part of my program. By doing something like this, using something like this, or we do shotguns too. No bigotry against feather meat. We like bird meat too. And we're not messing around with this. So as you've seen from some of the photos, this happens at the Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Ranch, 6,000 acre property on the Rocky Mountain front, owned by the Boone and Crocket Club. dormitory, research facility, shooting range. It is there for exactly this kind of a program, so that we can continue to play the role that we played for the last 130 years, doing what needs to be done. So you're going to want, if you're looking for an immersion introduction to hunting, to take this 3-day trip. It'll actually be 5 because it takes a little while to get to the Rocky Mountain front, but it's worth it. So the whole menu is game meat. So in addition to learning the whole process, you're experiencing, the different variety of game meat and the possibilities of how it's prepared professionally. And we're getting kind of sophisticated about that as well, because the chefs that we are working with are very creative people. Care packages to take home. And just so we know that we're headed in the right direction with this program, we do these evaluations pre and post to get a sense of, where their head is at coming in, where's their head and their heart at coming out. All right, so just a little nuts and bolts on the program. This year, 2018, will be the 3rd cohort going through. Last year, we maxed out 25. You can see there's good diversity, gender there. We're also branching out from our recruitment pool. This is one area where backcountry hunters are doing such a great job, is start with the people most addressable to us, which are the students in the Boone and Crocket program and around it at University of Montana. And especially reaching out into other fields as well. The why. I'll leave you with the why. Many of you may recall one of the fabulous Aldo Leopold essays called The Conservation Aesthetic, where he makes the point, the case, that there is an evolutionary process in outdoor recreation that begins with the idea of a trophy, which is the word he uses, but he's very clear that he's not talking about a head hanging on the wall. He's talking about the first seashell you brought home from the beach, that flame-colored leaf that you pressed between the pages of a book, or any smooth stone by a creek. Something that was your equivalent of been there, done that, got the t-shirt, right? Your experience outside begins with some kind of token, let's call it. But it evolves from there. The more you go, the more you learn, the more you begin to experience it, especially in a personal way, like through hunting, which is probably one of the most personal ways that you can connect with the experience of solitude, with the understanding of the ecological relationships going on around you, and how it works, and how you can work within that ecology, which leads to the concept of stewardship, which is your entry point, of course, into the community of conservationists. So that's why we do it. And I want to close out just by running a little tape. Ben's going to help me over here, my other brother, Ben. And then we'll call it good. Thanks. Roll.
Down the road, I love the idea of not buying any meat off the shelf and just being self-sufficient in that manner. And hunting obviously is the best way to do that. I wanted to come here because if you had asked me to hunt tomorrow, I wouldn't have known what to do 2 days ago, but I'm feeling much more confident about getting a tag, knowing where to go, how to do what needs to be done correctly and ethically.
I really feel like I have a lot of the tools and a lot of the skills now, at least some more knowledge to at least start that process. Before, I had no idea where to even start with hunting and where to go and where to get the information. So now I feel like I have a good set foundation to start.
Over the course of the weekend, we cover a variety of topics, with the students starting off with an in-depth conversation involving hunting ethics and land ethics, then delving into motivations for hunting, laws and regulations, public access, wildlife conservation, and game management. We discuss basic hunting skills including orienteering, reading animal tracks and sign, and understanding habitat. Saturday evening, the students actively take part in the field dressing, processing, and cooking of a deer. Our goal is to send the students home with all the necessary skills and knowledge to get them started in hunting, as well as have a better appreciation for the public land system and the role hunters play in conservation.
Thank you.